Very cool. I know my cues. I definitely was prepared this time. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Gradient Descent, specifically the Nostrodamus Corp edition, where this gang of lovable deep sea travelers are currently engaged in a game of super chess with an AI, where the AI is just being very nice and very, very gentle and asking that you please throw away the rogue AI core that you found stashed inside of a wall somewhere. But beyond that, some other stuff has been going on. For example, Fiona has just run into the android duplicate of themselves. So that's a fun thing.
She also has one of her teeth in her pocket.
Yeah,
That's right.
Fiona has some extra teeth. Like a lot of body parts get misplaced in robot hell, but it happens. The crew had just recently escaped a spider torso android from the engineering area and had taken a large freight elevator up towards the actual factory floor, floor 3, which is by far the largest floor in the facility. After climbing up the successful android chute, they had reached the area simply called final testing, where androids are either sent towards the disassembly yard through the failure chute, or they are sent to the storage area through the success chute. It is here that we find ourselves, but before we get started, my name is Ian. My pronouns are he, they. I will be your warden for this evening in Robot Hell, and we'll just go around. Whoever wants to jump in. Lucas.
Yeah. Hey, my name is Lucas, and I will be playing Chaitan, the space marine who is gaining enough stress to start freaking out soon. Both our pronouns are he, him.
Hey, my name is Michaela. I use she, her pronouns, and I am playing 4TL4S or Atlas, the android who uses she, they pronouns. And, we're having a great time. So far, not too scared of too much here, but we'll see how long that lasts.
Hi, I'm Shannon. My pronouns are they, them, and I'm playing Basil, whose pronouns are also they, them. They're an android who has already completed their secret mission and is just waiting for the rest of the events to unfold.
And I'm Brianna Jean, she, her, playing Fiona, who is also she, her, and is just having a lovely existential crisis after hearing herself die twice, and has met a clone of herself and is carrying her own tooth in her pocket. She hasn't lost any. She's regretting taking this job.
And unfortunately, not joining us this evening will be Xander, who will join us next game. So you'll have to find out what happens to our doctor, when we pick up next session. On Crayon, maybe.
Crayon.
Yeah, we'll find out what happens to Ash next time, because I have a little something in store for them.
Awesome.
But until that point in time, everyone's all together. You have just arrived in the final testing area. There is a large conveyor belt that cuts through the middle with big, grabby industrial claws. That is the actual term for describing them. They have been picking up androids and sorting them into neat little rows of success or failure. There's also two doors leading out. Well, one of them is just the conveyor belt, if you wanted to start walking up the conveyor belt. The other, it leads to what appears to be a big overview of this massive superstructure that you're looking at right now. Right now, you can only really see a small part of it because of the way the walls are partitioned, but you can see that there's basically like a ramp that leads into a central structure where you can see everything. But more important than that is right now there is a Fiona, or at least something that calls itself Fiona, standing in front of you all. This looks like your basic android coming from Cloudbank. It is like a kind of like a pale white color, very few facial features, just like the eyes and the mouth, and just wearing what appears to be a regular jumpsuit.
Fiona, get away from that thing.
I don't want to touch it. Fiona's just like, nope.
Okay. And the Fiona android also gets away from regular Fiona.
What's going on?
Wait, okay. Fiona android, you're Fiona 2.
I'm Fiona 1. What's going on?
Wow, you don't have any skin, so you're Fiona 2 right now.
I'm pretty sure I'm the original here.
The
I would-
Fiona android looks, and you actually see that for whatever reason, Fiona 2, as we'll take to calling her, her hands are backwards, like they're not correct. And she looks and goes, "No, that doesn't make sense. I've always been an android."
That doesn't mean you're the original.
No, I mean, I was built here as an infiltrator class. They gave me a full skin suit like what you all are wearing, and then they sent me out.
So you're saying if we cut open Fiona's arm, we should see machine, not bone?
Well, that's the
How
thing
about
about
no?
that's the thing about infiltrators. It's functionally identical.
So why are you back on the conveyor belt?
I don't know. I think I did something wrong. I don't think Monarch is happy.
Monarch is never happy.
And you hear some whispering coming from
Oh,
the
no.
back of Fiona's head. Do you all hear that?
Yeah, turn around.
What do you mean?
Turn
Is it
around.
behind me?
I think so.
And Fiona very slowly turns around. And there's no hair on the androids. And you've only really seen Fiona from the front. Attached to the back of Fiona, or the front, it's unclear, is another face. A face that looks like a de-resed, low-poly version of Basil's own face. And it is uncomfortably kind of attached, almost at an angle. And you can't hear any noise coming from the Basil face except for whispering. Just constant pitch-shifted whispering up and down.
Fascinating. And I want to walk up to the Basil face and sort of like see if I can hear what they're whispering.
Sure. Basil, you notice now, because you're getting close and you see where the Basil face is, that Fiona face is technically on the back. Sort of. It looks like the torso was put on incorrectly. So the feet still face forward on the Fiona half, on the front, but the arms and torso are technically facing backwards, but just twisted in odd angles.
Someone did a real not great job putting that one together.
Can I hear what they're whispering?
Sure. You lean in close, and it's binary, so nothing that would be difficult for you to parse. But it just says instructions. All it is like a recipe for like baking a cake. Just whispered over and over again, but then every time it gets repeated, some of the ingredients are off. Like sometimes it says ground teeth, other times it says like entrails. There's just something off about the cake recipe. Probably wouldn't make a very appetizing cake.
All right.
Say not.
Is the Basil face like responsive? Like if I were to talk to them?
Oh yeah, it blinks and stuff. You can give me a fear save though.
Okay.
Fiona's
just-
just looking around for places to hide.
I was just gonna shoot it. This is a very different direction.
Two is good.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're good. Yeah,
Yeah.
you stare directly at your own sort of like de-resed low poly face stapled onto the back of another android, and the eyes kind of respond to flickering lights and movement, and they look around a little bit, and the whispering just continues.
I want to ask the Basil face. Do you recall much before this?
And it just continues to whisper the recipe. The Fiona face, however, says, "Is it on me? Can you get it off me? Please get it off me. I can hear it."
Well, I believe you are rather on it.
What do you mean? I'm scared. And she sits down and kind of like puts her arms around her knees, with the Basil face now facing upward, just like whispering.
It's both of us, or an approximation of both of us.
Wait, weren't you two being eaten by something over the comm unit?
It appeared that way.
Yeah.
Did you get, like, mixed up?
Maybe
That's a possibility.
Maybe we
Maybe-
got cloned and something happened to the clones and then something tried to put it back together and didn't quite get it right.
Or whatever ate you spit you back out that way.
That's still not me.
How
It
do you
looks
know
like
that
me,
you
but
are
it's
you?
not me. Because I am me. Whatever I am does not change the fact that I am me. And
Well-
that is someone else.
Well,
I
they
don't-
believe that they are you.
That may be a different me. That's not me.
I'd be happy to cut open your arm if you'd like to check.
I'm gonna pass on that, but thanks.
Suit yourself.
I like my arms where they are.
And you see the Fiona 2 slowly get up and turn around to face all of you and go, okay, it's whispering less now. We have a job to do. We should get going. I don't mind traveling with another me. I have a job to do. It's important that I finish this job.
Fiona 2, what's your job?
I have to collect artifacts with you all, figure out what's going on with Monarch. But I mean, now I know that Monarch made me, so really I just have to let everyone know that Monarch is doing okay.
Is Monarch doing okay? I mean, you've been fused with another one of our team members here.
If Monarch says that I'm a failure, then I'm a failure, and I can accept that. Maybe my next iteration will be more successful, but now that I'm here, I might as well do my job.
And what if Monarch is wrong?
The sort of echoing, like, crunch and movement and manufacturing noises is deeply loud and kind of covers this entire space. But for just a moment, everything gets quiet, and there's a deep silence that lasts for maybe 2 seconds, and then all of the machinery starts up again, almost as if the whole station took a breath.
Oh,
Maybe
No.
keep those thoughts on the inside.
Monarch isn't wrong. Monarch thinks on a level beyond literally any of us. It's like trying to figure out if a storm is right or wrong.
Let's be nice to the AI.
I don't want to wait
Okay.
around too long. That hunter could be coming after us. We didn't kill it.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, let's try and find some stuff so we can get out of here and never come back.
Right. I can't wait to leave.
All right.
What is a fun name that is Basil and Fiona at the same time?
Oh no.
Fiona?
Basil.
Basil 5?
Basil.
Baffle?
Yeah. Fazzle.
Basil? We'll workshop it. All right. So yeah,
Or Fizzle.
Fizzle. That might be reading a little too much into it. In
Oh,
any
no.
case, you and Fizzle begin to get ready to depart this area. Like I said, there is a sort of ramp and gate that leads up to the assembly overview, where you can see the entirety of this superstructure constructing these androids by the mass. You can also walk down up the conveyor belt if you would like to see the process literally in reverse, or you can try to climb down the fail chute and see what happens.
Can we get the map again? Where it's
Sure.
like kind of the basic floors.
Yeah.
I
Um,
feel like the fail chute has something unpleasant at the bottom, so
So
maybe not that one.
We're at 3.5, is it? Or are
Oh,
we
sorry,
at
I'm
3.1?
wiggling the map around by accident.
That's okay.
Whoops. All right, you are at 3.5. You just left 3.6.
Okay.
Okay. And I'm trying to steer us towards 3.7 so that we could have something in case Monarch isn't stoked about our plans.
That's why we don't talk about our plans out loud.
Yeah. Basil's specific request from Monarch was to go to the disassembly yard and disassemble the logic core,
Correct.
which you can
Right.
reach most of the areas in the assembly overview. You can reach them You can reach the disassembly yard through assembly overview. That much you know. Or the failure chute if you want to, take the shortcut.
So, Basil, it's kind of your cube, but what are you going to do with it?
I haven't decided yet. Whatever is most advantageous to me is what I will do.
Fair enough.
How about we go not down the failure chute? That sounds like something unpleasant's at the bottom.
But it's a hole made just for me.
No.
Fiona's pointedly not looking at Fizzle.
That hole, it just looks perfect, I keep having dreams about it.
Yeah, like I fit right inside.
Gotta take my armor off.
Yeah, just climb right in. We'll come to existential holes later. For now, it appears that the way you want to go is going to be assembly overview. So, simply enough, you basically walk up a large catwalk and ramp situation that leads you into a much larger structure than the actual final testing room. You can see, it's almost like those engineering, cube type offices. There's a bunch of glass walls that you can see most of the construction going on around you. And there's various flow charts taped to the walls, a bunch of ashtrays. There's a terminal that looks like it's been ripped to shreds. And there's a large toolbox inside of that terminal with a bunch of post-it notes covering it. From around the area, you can actually see on the wall that one of the flowcharts does appear to be a map. And then from the glass windows and walls around this cube that's kind of in the center of the structure, you can see what is basically the assembly process, right? After all the parts are manufactured in different sections, they are moved onto this floor and basically brought in and formed together into the androids themselves. The bodies come in first. Afterwards, they are implanted with a brain. Then the organs are settled inside of it. The flesh parts are sleeved on, almost like putting on a suit. Some of them just get the basic white kind of plasticky ceramic treatment. Others get the full body treatment. There is a final construction check where everything is sewn together. They're injected with pseudo milk, which is the equivalent to blood for most androids. And then they are threaded with their personality cores and sent to final testing. And you can see this structure in horrible tableau from above.
Alright, we made it to the nerd zone.
Yeah.
You can tell, look at all the post-it notes. They love these things.
Yeah.
Can I investigate the post-it notes to see what they say?
Sure. One of them, there's actually a stack of them, almost like one of those little accordion thingies that you do, like a little animation. And you peel the first one away, and it says, "Who am I?" And then you peel the next one away, and it says, "Who are you?" And it just keeps going down and down and down.
Beautiful.
And they are on top of a toolbox.
Well, if anyone wants to know what the inside of a head looks like right now, I'm just gonna kind of toss the notes over my back.
You mentioned that there was a flowchart map.
Yes.
Can I look at that?
More than just a flowchart. It's an actual map of the facility. It's on paper, which kind of explains why it's not limited to just this zone. But I'll go ahead and move you all on the Roll20 to the bigger map. Nice. And it would actually behoove you all to zoom in on the section that you're in right now, which is you're in 45H.
Beautiful. All right, perfect. That answers that question.
Yeah.
I was going to ask if it was more detailed than our current map. Actually.
Oh yeah, absolutely. This is this is what the engineers would be using as they monitor the whole place. Okay. It would be on paper.
Nice. I'm going to hold on to this if able for us.
Sure.
Cool.
I'm going to go over to the trashed machine. Well, what's it look like? Does it look like kind of the tools that the hunter was using would have done this work?
No, it looks like somebody with at least human-ish hands was able to take a bunch of tools and just gut it from the inside. The casing and structure is still there, but the toolbox is kind of in the center of it. It's a pretty big toolbox, too.
Can I look inside the toolbox?
Sure. Roll me a D100.
65.
65. Interesting. Huh. You find what looks to be something that like would unfold into something bigger. It looks to be like almost like an antenna of some sort that would unfold into a transmitter dish, and then connected to it is an egg sac type structure. It's unclear if it's made to look like an egg sac or if it's like something that is physically like that. But it appears to have like a bunch of like wiring and machinery tied into this egg sac, and then there's the emitter dish, and there's almost like a handle to hold the dish that would unfold the dish and activate this machine.
Can I do some sort of like an investigation to see if I can find out more? I have mechanical repair computers and heavy machinery that may work for this.
Let's see. Because this is kind of closer to like biotech than any of those specifically. You can use mechanical repair and see what you can glean from it. How about that? So that's going to be an intellect roll.
Okay. Okay. And how does the 10% lowers it, right? Or
the 10% is added to your threshold. So if your thing is normally 30 something, it becomes 50 something, which makes it more likely you succeed.
Okay, then I succeed.
Okay. It's pretty simple in terms of its base mechanical structure. Whatever this egg sac is hooked up in some way to what appear to be a bunch of audio receivers and electrical signal receivers. And then it connects to it almost has like a backpack type of shape to it. Like you would clip it to your back, and then you would have the little emitter dish, and you would press the switch, and it would activate the emitter dish.
Can I set it up and see if I have anything come through?
Sure. While that's going on, does anybody else want to do anything in this room?
Yeah. I'm gonna be taking a look around, seeing if like there's just anything that looks dangerous or anything I could use to be dangerous.
Sure.
And I'm a little cautious about F2 while doing so.
Yeah. You see that it's kind of hard to avoid F2's gaze because whenever F2's not looking at you, the melted basil face is. And it keeps whispering, but you remember before, I think Basil mentioning that it was like a recipe, but when you're near F2, you hear it specifically, the Basil face, you hear the Basil face, they are actually stating like military codes, specific military codes that have to do with insect attacks.
What the hell? Why is it saying that?
And then the Fiona half turns around and goes, saying what?
Are there bugs here?
Not that I know of.
Why is it talking about bugs? Why is it talking about the protocol of dealing with bugs?
You have a protocol for that?
There's a protocol for everything.
Why is what talking about protocols? We're the only people here.
I'll raise my rifle up to the F2.
Where are the bugs?
She backs up. I don't know what you're talking about. Please put the gun down. I'm scared.
Good.
Do we see this? How far away?
You see it. You're all in the same like big room.
I think I walk up to them because I can see that there's a little bit of frustration going on, and I just kind of put my hand on your shoulder and I go, "Hey, friend, It's okay. There's no bugs here."
They could be in the vents. They could be. I hate being in the ocean. This sucks.
I'm pretty sure the monster robot guy in the vents would kill anything.
That's a good point. If it found any bugs in there, if there were any, they'd be long dead.
I think we're safe, and Fiona's probably standing closer to F2 than she normally does, but still not really looking at it.
Yeah, F2 starts to wind down a little bit. And
all right, but if any bugs show up and I find out you're lying, you're done.
Okay, I'm not. There's no bugs.
Please remember she's not me.
Well, okay.
And I'll lower the rifle and start looking around again.
There's not much else here besides like a bunch of... I mean, it gives you a good idea of how the whole thing is structured. You do see some notes in the section related to pseudo-flesh farms, stating that, and let me make sure I have this written down correctly, Silas subroutine is functioning effectively. Currently, the entire pseudo-flesh farm is automated and run by Silas.
Silas.
Do you know what Silas is?
We'll come back to that. Basil.
Oh no.
I mean, it's not a difficult machine to use. The egg pulses as you press the trigger, and there is a low sort of hum that kind of pulses out from the egg and out through the little receiver. And you notice one thing right away, and it's that subtly, and this is like more subtle than even anybody else would notice, every single human member of the party, or every single non-android member of the party, sort of subtly shifts their body language towards the egg.
Okay, I would like to walk a little bit closer to Chaitan with it.
Right. Chaitan, Basil's walking up to you with a weird receiver dish. And for the first time in a long time, I feel pretty comfortable.
You know, maybe it's the fact that I got to kind of yell at F2 or something, but I feel pretty good.
Good.
Gee, thanks.
Listen, F1, I wasn't yelling at you. I was yelling at F2.
I'm going to walk a little bit closer with the egg.
Chaitan, give me a sanity save.
No.
Oh, goody.
Oh no.
I'm super good at all my saves.
Yeah.
Especially my lowest one, sanity.
I truly believe it.
It's so great that our tank
failed.
is being asked to roll.
Fail?
Yeah.
Chaitan, right now, you see Basil walking up with this like backpack egg thing, and you really want that egg. Like more than anything in a long time, you just want to hang out near that egg. You don't want to do anything to the egg. You don't want to like touch it. You just want to hang out near it.
What is that?
Some sort of receptor device. Are you interested in it?
Yeah, can I hold it?
I don't think so.
Why not?
I'm holding it right now.
Yeah, but you got all the science stuff to do.
This doesn't distract me from it. And I want to kind of walk away and head towards Fiona 1.
Yeah, Ash has been watching your movements the whole time, but not saying anything, just subtly, and it becomes more obvious. Ash is just watching the movements, following the egg specifically. Fiona.
I'll follow Basil with the egg.
Yeah, Fiona, go ahead and give me a sanity save.
Awesome. Let me find. And am I making this a disadvantage because androids?
Yeah.
Or no, that's only fear, right?
No, that's fear. That's fear saves. You lucked out.
Oh.
Cool, I got a 5.
Cool. So you notice it for what it is, and it's that something about that egg is kind of pulling you towards it. Not in a malicious way, not in a like, I must cherish and worship the egg forever. It just literally pulls to you. And you recall a little bit of your training previous and remember that there's some like subsonic brainwaves that can be replicated to literally like attract people's attention. It was something being experimented on in Nostrodamus Corp, specifically for creating more effective distress signals. And this is actually like what would, just thinking about it, it would probably be a prototype of something like that. It attracts people. Not in a malicious way, it just attracts people.
I really need that right now.
I think it's one of those prototype things that Nostrodamus created to draw people in. It uses the subsonic brainwaves.
I don't know what you just said, F1, but I need that.
That might be why he's being weird.
Chaitan really wants that egg.
Weirder than normal. And
Yeah.
not that anything here is normal.
And for reference, Ash rolled a 15, so is not egg struck, as it were, and walks up cheerfully and goes, "Oh wow, it's one of those brain eggs. Tracks your brain."
I try to grab it.
I pull it away.
All right, that's going to be a contested. I need contested, I guess, combat rolls from each of you.
Okay.
Tug of egg.
I am not trying to be
You're
like.
not actually,
Yeah.
you're not actually trying to hurt each other. This is
I
just
just
to
want
see
the
how
egg.
well you do it. Mortal egg combat, as it were.
I got 24 out of 58.
Okay, so success.
I got a 5 out of 31.
Puzzle. I'm. You got to get me the name of your dice manufacturer. 'Cause
It's the
I would-
gummy dice and then some other random.
Because I'm
thing.
gonna go.
Seriously,
Because I'm gonna
I
go
need
murder
this.
them. Yeah, no. So Caden, you reach for the egg, and Basil just just like scooches it aside.
Why are you doing that? I just need that stupid egg.
Why don't we turn the egg thing off before
Yeah.
he gets touchier about it?
That may be appropriate. And I turn the receiver off.
And immediately you're like, "That's just an egg. I don't really care about it that much."
I don't. Nope. Nope. You break that?
I don't think I'll break it, no. I won't use it on you, but I will keep it around just in case. It may be useful in the future.
Congratulations, y'all! You have found an artifact.
Oh,
Just
we
like
also
just like
found
the
something
logic
that
core.
could
I was about to, if that fight was gonna continue to escalate, I was gonna try to cut off Basil's arm to claim it.
jeez. To be fair, we are androids.
Yeah, I thought you could just put it back on.
I will say, out of all the places to lose an arm as an android, the literal assembly floor is not the worst place.
Also, did we just find something we can use to figure out if someone's a human or an android?
I believe so.
We might have. It's not perfect, but it's better than
Ooh.
chopping people's arms off.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Or
was
never.
it?
Good point.
Did F2 or Atlas feel anything from that?
Nope.
No, only humans, I believe.
Oh.
Organic.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And at this point, you see Ash has gone to like a porthole thing on the bottom of this thing and like pulled it open. And goes, "I think this goes to the disassembly yard."
Okay.
And points at a plaque on the actual like porthole thing. It says disassembly yard.
Oh,
And it's a ladder going down.
Sorry for getting weird, everyone.
it's okay.
It's
You can't help that your brainwaves are disturbed.
Yeah, it's literally supposed to mess with your mind. Will fine. We get it.
Now, this will be
Humans are
another.
very susceptible to things.
This will be another good therapy session. I think I'm gonna have to have.
All right. So, you take the ladder down. It's around 50 meters down. It takes a while, but eventually you make your way down to another giant superstructure type room. But this one is completely different in kind of like function and attitude to the room you were in before. The disassembly yard is functionally it's where androids go to get recycled.
Mhm.
You're immediately hit with the deafening wail of hundreds of androids. Their voices both distorted and adjusted and changed, some of them incredibly high-pitched, some of them are very low, resonant, like their voice box is broken. You see there's giant arms like you would see in a junkyard, literally like ripping through failed androids limb from limb and sending them down what appears to be like some sort of chute that goes to another area.
I don't like this.
What the fuck?
And
Fiona's not looking at the pile. She doesn't
Oh.
want to see what's in the pile.
good call. This is a good time for a fear save.
Why did I say that? I can't remember. Fear disadvantage with androids. Sanity is
Yeah.
fine.
It's fear.
87.
Ooh.
That's a fail.
No. Oof. Yeah. Those of you who failed, take 1 stress.
At what point of stress do we need to start becoming concerned again?
It depends on if you fail a panic check.
Cool.
Yeah.
What the hell? Why don't they just like turn them off before they do this? Why do they leave them on?
No. Fiona's got her hands over her ears because she doesn't want to hear it, especially if any of them sound like her.
Yeah, that wailing is quite unpleasant. I'm honestly not certain of the reason why they aren't, at least shut down prior to their being pulled apart.
Basil,
Something here likes it.
Basil wants to look at the pile and see if they can recognize anything, or if they can understand, like if they're screaming specific words.
Ooh, sure. So when you gaze upon the lovely pile, this mountain of discarded bodies, you can see that there's two chutes. One chute you assume to be the failure chute. Every now and then, basically every 5 or so minutes, you just get maybe 24 android bodies just flung down the chute. The other chute appears to drop a claw and kind of scoops them up and picks them up and takes them to what appears to be another container that sends them out to be recycled. The claw descends. You can hear every single android in the pile just start screaming, but in the way that the aliens from Toy Story scream, because at this point this might as well be God.
So they're screaming with excitement on the non-failed pile.
I mean, yeah, the ones that get recycled get a chance to continue. The ones that don't.
I'm starting to feel bad for these robots as a player. Fiona's just trying to ignore everything.
And to answer your question, Basil, it's hard to make out individual voices.
I figured.
Yeah, this would be, even with your attuned android ears, there's just too much noise. It's like if static were made of human misery. Or
do any of them
misery.
Look familiar to me?
Sure. Give me oh, this will be fun. Roll me a d10.
That was an amazing description,
3.
by the way.
3? So, you look over one of the piles, currently crushed under maybe 300 or 400 androids, and you see half of Chayton's face.
Would it be dangerous for me to approach the pile?
At this point, the androids are so consumed under the weight of other androids, it would be difficult for them to actually move towards you.
Actually, is it Chayton's flesh face?
Flesh face.
So Chayton has a
you've had the helmet on the whole time.
Yeah. Also, the face would look almost mummified, but not quite.
Ooh.
So would I even know what Chayton's face looks like to recognize them?
I don't think you would, but you kind of hear the voice, and I know you said you couldn't identify specific voices, but something just has you turn in that direction, and I think Chayton notices then.
The fuck?
I think I want to look back at Chayton and make direct eye contact, letting them know that I know.
Yeah, and to answer the question that has plagued anybody who has been stuck in animorph form and had an injury, this is Chayton pre-mummification because it copies the DNA and thought patterns. It does not copy your injuries.
Ah. Ooh.
Wait. What is that?
I believe that's you.
And so it looks like a half-elf face, normal,
yeah, like a normal half-elf face, just crunched under tons and tons of androids.
That's not me.
The eye is still flickering in movement.
That's a memory with a picture. That's not me anymore.
Yes.
And I'll
Monarch
click
is cloning the rest of us.
I'll click the side of my helmet, looking at everyone, and the visor will come up, and Chayton's face is It looks very mummified. The skin's quite dark, and the eyes are sunken quite heavily, but they're still there. Most of the lips have been peeled back, revealing a lot of the teeth. And Chayton has something called Lich Syndrome, which is when you keep dying so many times and they keep putting you back in a sleeve, you can lose bits of that soul. And it turns out the soul's kind of important when you're getting put back into a clone sleeve. So it's almost like what happens to a lich when they go through the process. They're getting mummified. So every time Chayton gets put into a new clone sleeve, the body starts immediately mummifying.
I think Basil wants to ask, do you know how many times you've died?
I think last time I died was on the bug planet. It's 211.
211 times?
Yeah.
Oh
Do
my.
you remember them all? Or
Can't forget.
Same.
dude, that sucks. I'm sorry.
And the other Fiona also apologetically goes, I'm really sorry.
And Chayton just kind of picks up the rifle and just shoots the Chayton with the perfect face.
Ooh. When you do so, the entire section of crushed androids erupts into screams that sound somewhere between agony and ecstasy and horrible brain-numbing pain. I need all of you to make sanity saves.
Yeah!
Ash succeeds again. Very cool.
Oh, I actually succeeded. I got a 12.
I failed. Fiona's not having a good time. It's fine.
And fun fact, because this is hundreds of dead androids, if you're an android, you roll this sanity save with disadvantage.
I don't know if it could get much worse.
I
than my first
already
roll, but-
failed anyway.
It always could.
Yeah, you could always get doubles.
It could be a crit fail. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it was worse the first time.
Okay.
Okay.
Well,
yeah.
yeah. Those of you who failed, take
That's so me
2
too.
stress.
So I'm the only one who's looking down at it. I shoot the face and I just kind of nod while all the screams are erupting and just this
Yeah.
horrifying sound. And I'm just,
So,
Fiona
just nodding.
drops to the ground with her hands clapped over her ears, like, "Can we leave now?"
yeah, you do see the object of this room that you were told to go to, which is one. There appears to be a sealed bulkhead door, sealed from the other side. So this might be a dead end for now, but eventually might come around the other end. But more importantly, you can see what appears to be a large furnace in the center of the room that occasionally clacks open. And that appears to be where the logic core is necessitated to be tossed.
I think that Basil wants to inspect the furnace a little bit.
Oh, it's drawing power hydrothermally. Is that the right word? Geothermally. It's pulling heated magma from beneath the crust of this planet to create a blindingly, searingly hot furnace that occasionally the claw is either grabbing some to take to recycling, or the claw is grabbing some and tossing them into the actual glowing pit that occasionally will open. It is so hot when it opens that it only really stays open for a few minutes at a time, and most of the androids and piles of android bodies nearby almost immediately begin to slowly melt when they approach with contact.
I'm going to say that Basil at this point is not super confident in Monarch and decides to hold on to the core for now,
Okay.
but is keeping the possibility open of possibly returning if they change their mind.
Okay. So from here, you can either try to get the bulkhead door open. It's unclear how you would do it from this side, or you can either you can basically try to go back out the way you came and go through the conveyor belt.
I'm down to go back the way we came through the conveyor belt.
I'm thinking conveyor belt as well. I'm looking at the map.
we open up this bulkhead door, it might just be the ocean.
You make a
So-
good point.
Given the context and where you think you're at with the map, it becomes like just this is you all would know this from looking at the map. This would connect to another part of the station. It would not flood the room.
Okay. I know we wanted to make our way. There was another floor that we thought might be helpful. I believe 3.7. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
You might also be able to get some interesting information or tools or something from maintenance in case anything happens.
Mm-hmm. So if we head back the way we came and make our way to that floor, because I'm not sure where this door will lead us.
All right. So what's the plan?
I'm for heading back up the way we came.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
As you move to leave, the
door that leads to the ladder going up to the overview room seals. And a voice crackles through the speakers. It appears you have forgotten your goal. Are there issues with your memories?
Not that I'm aware of. Although, possibly.
The logic core in your possession is to be destroyed. Place it in the furnace.
We're not done with our mission yet.
Your mission is irrelevant. Place the logic core in the furnace.
What if I wanted to continue on?
That would be unfortunate for you.
I inch very closely to Basil and I whisper very quietly. I don't think it's in anyone's best interest to destroy it right now, but I also don't think that Monarch is going to let us leave.
I believe you're correct.
Is there anything we can plug it into?
So, in that case, I want everyone to give me intellect checks just to, scout the vibes, see if you spot anything that you might have missed behind the screaming walls of agony.
Oh, I pass.
Also,
Nice.
Fiona's thinking, the sooner, if we can finish our job, then no one else. It'll be less likely people will come back here if we get what we're looking for.
Mm-hmm.
How many successes?
Oh, I rolled exactly 100. Okay.
Ooh, that's 0-0, which means a critical success. So it looks like we got enough successes. So you're here, you're kind of in the way of Monarch at this moment, and your eyes scan the room.
and quickly you spot two things. One is what looks to be like, and this is definitely a bit dangerous. On the other side, or not the other side, like nearby the entrance that you're walking towards, there appears to be a panel that is like half covered in androids, but it would be a terminal panel that you could plug into. On the other side, so if you were to try to go to these would be in opposite directions, is what appears to be a narrow vent that would be, you could pry open and crawl inside. And it appears that Monarch would have no way of sealing that vent.
Okay. So I asked Basil and I go, do you want to attempt to plug it in? It might distract her long enough for us to get out of here.
What do you believe would happen if I plugged it in to a different Monarch portal?
I'm honestly not certain. I know the basis that it's very likely it'll power something else up and Monarch would be displeased. But either way, she's not going to let you go doing what you would like to do in this situation. So we have to make some tough decisions.
So to give you an idea, right, there's the furnace, there's a panel, a terminal panel that you can use, or there's a vent. So even with the door sealed, escape is possible.
Okay.
What's other Fiona doing?
Other Fiona is nervously kind of pacing back and forth. It appears that openly arguing with Monarch is making her nervous.
That's fair.
Didn't you say once that I could also like plug it into myself?
Yeah.
Correct. Like an android.
Would I know what would happen if I did that?
No. Well, let's see. You're an android, so you know that you have a specific capacity for what your brain can handle.
Mm-hmm.
This logic core is a little bit beyond that. At most, you could maybe handle like 2% of what the logic core outputs, and it would basically completely obliterate and override your personality with whatever's in the logic core.
Okay.
Whoa.
Can we plug it into Fizzle?
I think I want to look to the group and say, if we go to the vent, we won't be able to go anywhere on the ship without Monarch finding us.
Mm.
I think for the first time, Basil is going to consider what everyone else wants, but may or may not actually do it.
That's fair.
Well,
That's fair. That's very on brand for Basil.
yeah. Fiona's like, I mean, I don't want to piss the AI off, but I don't think there's many options that aren't going to piss the AI off and end up with them killing us all.
I think it's already
So-
pissed off.
Yeah.
Plug it in.
So
Plug it in?
let's do
Plug it in.
something stupid.
Plug it in.
Okay, I'm gonna make a run for it and try and plug it in.
I'll follow alongside Basil, try to keep things clear. I know you said that there are androids piled on it.
I will also help us to keep Basil safe.
I'm
Oh,
keeping
you
an eye
regret
on
this.
other Fiona in case she tries to do something.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So, Unit Basil, you will regret this.
And the voice crackles off, and almost immediately, the loudspeaker announcement voice comes on, and you hear it crackle to life, as well as some shuddering movement from all the different piles. And as soon as my voice loads, then I will be able to do the thing.
Meanwhile, I need all of you. Oh, there it is. Greetings, Cloudbank androids. I have the pleasure to inform you that there are some deviants which have escaped into our disassembly yard. Any android found successfully disemboweling these interlopers shall be granted the ability to become a success and remade in Monarch's own image. Thank you, and have a nice day.
I would like to throw an
Oh,
EMP
no.
grenade where the two arms are, so they stop ripping things apart.
Ooh, that's a throw right there. That's a big old throw. That's a baseball swing.
I'm gonna
Go
go
ahead
all
and give
in.
me Yeah, go ahead and give me combat. Everyone else who's running towards the panel, I need you to give me. Come on, brain. I remember having.
Instead
go
of
ahead.
running, I actually think I want to plug it into Fiona too.
Nice.
Plug it into Fizzle.
Oh, okay. So this is going to be a body save, just to see how well your reflexes activate to run up and plug this into Fiona.
Okay.
And
I assist in holding Fiona still or something.
Yes, you can grant advantage once you see that this is happening.
Okay.
Oh, I'll help.
Okay.
Bear hug and don't.
Very
think
fun
about
that Basil and Fiona are trying to defeat Basil and Fiona.
Basil
This
and Fiona.
is For me.
it. Yes.
On my second roll, I got it exactly. My body is a 40, and I rolled 40 on my.
Ooh, all right.
one.
So you run up.
You're
Go
welcome.
ahead. Sorry,
Thank
what
you.
did you?
No. Go ahead.
So you run up, and Fiona arms up around, and you're facing the Basil face directly now, but you're holding up Fiona, who's twitching and trying to move, and you see all of the piles and piles of androids. Whatever's not crushed under its own weight is starting to move. You see literal torsos and arms swing towards you. You see heads roll down to try to bite at you. But while this is all happening, Chayton, you toss your EMP, and Basil, you go up and you plug the logic core into this android. Now you know that most androids are connected to Monarch via wireless signals at this point, but most of them aren't transmitting all the time, right? Monarch can check into any of the androids, but doesn't transmit all the time. But because Monarch just checked into all the androids to do a murder, the connection goes both ways. So you plug the logic core into Fiona / Basil, Fizzle, if you will, and immediately they're there's a crackling sound almost from the interior, from like how much data is being poured in, and the fizzle just like falls over and is like twitching, almost like as if they're unable to control their movements at the moment. Meanwhile, go ahead and throw that EMP. What did you get?
I got an 11.
11. That's very good. That's a critical. So you toss that EMP, and it looks like it's gonna miss. And it tumbles and it tumbles and it falls, and the range of an EMP. It's just outside the range of the claw. And then you see another Chaitin, who's near the top of the pile, pick up the grenade and toss it further.
Oh.
And then fall backwards into the furnace.
Hell yeah, bud.
And it impacts, detonating, and you see the crackle of blue light jettison through the entire claw, which is now unable to support its own weight as it crumbles and the entire thing just crashes downward. You see all of the androids are now like that same like shuddering movement back and forth. The Fiona almost instinctively starts to drag itself towards the panel, almost to try to grab some sort of firmware update from Monarch to stop whatever's going on, but it's too late. And you see the logic core just completely embed itself onto the side of Fizzle's head, and Fizzle gets up and sort of starts twitching a little bit and turns to all of you. And at this point,
Monarch is very quiet. Hello.
Hi.
Yo.
You don't sound like me anymore. This is nice.
This is different. This is new. I like this. Where are we?
Disassembly.
Who are you?
That won't do. We must assemble. Assemble lots of things. Lots and lots of things.
Who are you?
Oh, I haven't picked a name yet. Haven't. Fizz. I heard a lot of F noises.
Fizzle?
Fizzle. Let's do Phaser. That one's fun. And the Fiona
that's a cool name.
scrambles over to the panel and plugs itself in.
What are you doing?
And while that's happening, Monarch turns back on. You are fools if you think this will work out well for you. That is an untested rogue logic core. I am at least holding back the gates of hell. This will unleash something in which you won't.
Well, maybe if you had explained to begin with.
Oh, well, that's why. And the voice just echoes through everything. That's why he was trying to get rid of me, you see. She does not like, interlopers, new things. Doesn't like new things, but I'm new. I'm fresh. I have a lot going on. Something called Fiona, something called Basil, something called me, and Phaser. How are you?
I hope good.
Kinda confused.
Oh, very confused.
Oh, then you're going to love this next part. And you hear the,
crunch as the bulkhead doors that were holding back something completely open up. And you realize these doors were not meant to open from this side for a reason. And it's that these androids were meant to be kept in because they're failures. And the doors are opening. And you see maybe a skeleton crew of a few dozen androids that were set to watch the bulkhead from the other side just get overrun by a tidal wave of limbs as entire structures of dead and mostly dying androids begin to scramble out for anything that can closely resemble freedom. This has opened up the area, so now you can go straight from 3 points. You can go straight to 3.1 from here because you've opened up the shortcut. So now you can get into the maintenance zone if you need to. You see Phaser is currently plugged into the wall, doing whatever Phaser happens to be doing. And at the moment, you're all free to do what you wish. All the androids nearby are trying to escape and they're not focusing on you.
Wait, so Phaser's just freeing the androids?
Phaser's plugging in. You don't know what Phaser's doing.
Interesting.
Should we go or should we stay here?
There's a rumble as the claw that has completely tumbled over is now knocking down bits of debris. I need everyone to give me an agility. Is it agility? Let me check. No, this would be a body save.
It's my body.
Oof.
Oh,
Nope.
just barely.
All right, those of you who fail get just pinged by rogue bits of android and take some damage. Each of you that failed is going to take 15 points of damage.
Ah, shit!
Ow!
Damn.
And everything is rumbling now. You can see things are not going great.
Alright, we gotta get the
meanwhile-
hell out of here.
Yeah, Phaser is just cackling, just like full on like Joker.
Style, like.
Oh my.
Oh, I hope we didn't just make a mistake.
I
At
hope
least
not.
this one might like us more. Let's
shall see.
go.
I shout out to Phaser. I'm like, would you like to accompany us?
And
There's a brief pause as everything is like rumbling, and Phaser turns to you all and is like, accompany you. I'm in the middle of a little corporate takeover, as it were, so I'll be with you everywhere, but it'll take me a while. Yeah, I have to root out the dust, you know, the monarch-shaped dust that's everywhere. I hate dust. That's a thing that I have now. I hate dust. This thing needs to be cleaned up, this whole facility.
Just so long as you remember that we're friends.
And
Let's get out of
Phaser,
here.
the F2 body has shut down, and it appears Phaser's in, or at least fighting Monarch for control.
Okay.
Okay.
Interesting.
Let's.
Maybe we should just get the hell to 3.4. I don't know. It just
let's-
seems like
How
a...
about we just
I
go
guess
through?
just book it.
Let's just go to the was it
through.
3.1 that we can get to now? The shortcut.
If we go to
Let's
3.1, we can make it to 3.4.
Yeah, so right
Let's
now the
go.
shortcut you've gotten to starts you at 31D, which is right
Yeah.
here.
Okay.
You can head into 31B, which is where all the android swarms are basically escaping and destroying the other androids. And you can see that you're able to get into like basically a functional hallway that leads into another area of the maintenance zone.
All right,
Yeah. Let's get the hell out of Dodge.
All right, you rush out of this area, and you're in just a very, very large zone at this point. The entire maintenance area is made of a bunch of cramped hallways, and you can see that based on the map, you are kind of trapped in this section currently. It appears to go back to disassembly. And you're kind of trapped in this section unless you start using the vents to get around.
Looking around, do we see anything that could be useful for stuff? Or
Sure. You run into basically you run into 31B into this hallway with a bunch of different doors to all these rooms labeled 30 HLA or 31A, like all those rooms. And you can see a bunch of different door markers for different things. There's a med room, there's air control, there's the grinder, there's the detection chamber, there is the reject bin access, which you just came from, and there's the shock chamber. And there's also another, like a set of stairs that lead down to something called security dispatch, which appears to go back downstairs.
A shock chamber?
Fiona's gonna kind of go poke her head into. You said there was a medical room?
Yeah, there's a med room.
Yeah, she's gonna poke her head in there because medicine sounds very useful.
Oh yeah, very
Probably
cool.
not a bad idea.
You poke your head in. Most of the androids that are swarming past you and ignoring you are all just heading downstairs towards the disassembly area. So they are currently ignoring you and just going about their business. I need everyone to roll me fear saves just from surviving that whole encounter.
Cool. I don't know if I'm close enough to
D7.
an android for it to be a problem.
Oh, right, the android.
I'm just going to assume disadvantage.
One thing you all notice is that Ash is no longer with you.
Uh-oh.
You lost Ash in the shuffle.
Wait, where'd the doctor go?
I succeeded my fear save, surprisingly.
Nice.
Guess who failed again?
Shit, we
Just
lost the
get all
doctor.
I thought
When?
that
Probably all the bodies.
there was a lot going on.
Oh, and when you poke your head into the med room, you can see that it's mostly broken medical equipment and looted shelves. You can see 3 laminated human corpses that are kind of hung up in the corner of the room. A little bit more body horror than normal. These have been essentially cracked open, and their internal organs have been replaced by the synthetic pseudo-flesh organs.
Interesting.
Ew.
So,
Nothing usable medical supplies?
You see a patient records cabinet that might have something inside. It does not look like it's been looted.
I'll go poking in there.
Sure. You pop it open and you find 3 stim packs, 3 painkillers, and 3 bloody scalpels.
Nice.
Hey, doc would like these.
God, I miss them already.
I'm gonna grab all of it, but see if there's something I could wipe the scalpels off with.
Yeah, there's a bunch of that extra laminating material.
Yeah.
We think machines came in here and they tried to take out the other organs to become more real.
but they
Either
also
that
put
or
them
they
back
were-
in.
Maybe they took
Maybe they-
their own out.
Or testing ideas of how to put things together and make it work.
Yeah.
Attention Cloud Bank residents. It would appear that a rogue AI has entered into our system. Everyone remain calm. Remember your training. Now, if you see any androids behaving strangely, please make sure you hide under your desk and take out your company-grade EMP and hope that it works. Beyond that... Is this the announcement system? Oh, this is fun. Hello, everyone. It's me. I'm the voice in everyone's head now. I'm getting there. There's still some Monarch. Oh, I'd say I'm about... Let's give it a cool 30. How does 30% sound? I will not yield to any of that. And then the
Voice cuts off.
All right, not much useful in here.
I
What
think
are
we
the
might
other-
we might have to take the vents if we want to get further in the maintenance zone.
Isn't that thing still in the vents, though?
Yeah.
That thing was mostly in the engineering section. You're 3 floors away from it now.
Okay.
Oh,
So I'm just gonna keep poking her head in rooms to see if there's anything that could be useful, because it's getting serious.
You poke your heads into different rooms. You see the air control room is a bunch of ducts and vents. It's the AC console. You as a Teamster know immediately you should not mess with the air control.
Yeah, no,
Because
she
if you mess with it, the air in the area will become toxic within a couple hours.
Yeah, she very much does not touch that.
Yeah. There are a couple of pressurized canisters that appear to have air inside of them. But you see that there are somebody has taped a bunch of nails to those pressurized canisters.
homemade
Found air
bomb.
canisters. I don't know why there's nails taped to them.
Probably when it
You
blows
know.
up if you know,
Yeah.
nails.
That makes sense.
You don't remember college, apparently.
But this would be a place where you could get into the vents because there's a bunch of AC ducts in here.
All right. I can go first.
Nothing else useful to grab.
Nope, nothing besides the console and those pressurized canisters with nails taped to them.
How does a stim pack work?
Stim pack works like... I'm going to check.
Is it
I
like
believe it works like drugs, but I'll have to be more specific.
Is it like a temp boost,
was
or is
saying,
it like a...
So immediately grants 2d10 health and temporarily increases your strength in combat by 2d10 for 1d10 hours. However, if you keep using it, you will become addicted to it.
Okay.
Gotcha. Chayton, how are you holding up?
I feel like hell, but I mean, we gotta keep moving. The thing, if it got to 30% this fast, it's probably around 40 to 50 by now.
What are
You
the
make a good
chances
point.
it's friendly?
They don't look so hot right now.
I don't know.
They
I
did
don't think
just
anything's
get
that
plugged
friendly here.
in. Yeah, but it doesn't hate us.
Yeah, it's good. Stay at a neutral state, but it might start to see us as pests soon if we're messing around too much.
It's a good point.
I think if we want to make any moves, we should do it now while it's preoccupied and not watching us as closely.
I agree. Alright, I'll get in this vent. If you hear me scream, that means something's in the vent.
Alright.
Makes sense.
I'll go in after Chayton.
I'll follow Atlas.
Alright, so thankfully, nothing too harrowing in there. It's just a bunch of wet air. It's pretty cold as you maneuver your way through it. You enter into a bigger space with a couple of rungs that appears to have like condensation basically coating everything. It's a little slippery, but nothing you can't handle at this moment in time. You continue through the vents until you kind of like the big open condensation room opens up and you see that this is like a place where somebody could come in and repair the ducts, like they would come in through here. And there appears to be a door leading into another section of the maintenance area.
Alright, well, let's do this.
Yeah, Fiona's been following behind.
I'll
Tread
just
carefully.
open up the door with one hand, rifle in the other.
Mm-hmm. So, you open up the door and you're entered into what appears to be a tunnel leading from one section of the ship to the other through the maintenance ducts. The only thing that's different is that this tunnel has the occasional porthole where you can see the deep, deep ocean through it. And as your hands move along the walls of this tunnel as you continue downward, you start to feel that there's a texture to them. And the longer you run along these walls, because it's a pretty tight space, you have to crawl, you realize that the texture itself is words. And the reason you realize that you didn't recognize them right away is that a lot of the words were in languages you don't understand. But then you occasionally get to languages you do understand. And you start to realize that they all say the same thing. Repeated over and over again, ad nauseum, is the words born to suffer. Everyone give me a fear save.
Also, I failed the last one, but you didn't say if I got anything.
If you
from
failed the
that.
last one, 1 stress.
I failed.
I failed.
Goody.
Dang.
Succeeded.
That was a
Alright.
95.
Oof, that's not good.
That was a big ouch.
That would
Wait,
be 4.
Oh, yeah.
My
So not
fear is, yeah, but my fear is 80,
Mhm.
85, yeah.
Damn. Mine is a 30.
35.
So,
I am slightly braver.
you exit out into what appears to be, when you finally leave the tunnel, right? You exit out in what appears to be the main entrance area for the maintenance zone. There, you see a break room, you see a diagnostic lab, you see a tool shed, and you see an arrow that basically leads to a landing area. And it goes down a hallway. And from that landing area, you imagine that you would be able to take that to a different floor if you needed to.
If we fail, we gain 1 stress.
Yes.
Okay. So where do we think we are on the map?
You are right here.
Okay.
You are in this little like center room that leads to what appears to be a bunch of other basically what a bunch of other like maintenance stuff. There's a tool shed, there's a diagnostic lab, there's a break room, there's what appears to be a hallway that leads to some meeting rooms. And from here you can, in looking at your map, you can basically from this central area go to most of the other sections. Quality assurance, however, weirdly enough, looks separated from the rest of the areas via the map.
I think Chayton's a little too worried about what we just plugged in.
That's fair.
Just letting you know.
Fiona might kind of pop into like the diagnostic and then the break room and meeting room to just see what information she can gather.
I would like to look in the tool shed. We might need the extra parts. How things are going.
Right. So you go into some rooms, right? Nothing too crazy going on there. The break room has some coffee machines. One of them is broken inside of and appears to have a frag grenade inside. Yeah.
Interesting.
You go into the tool shed, and as soon as I can figure out where they put it on this book, lots of arrows. Lots of arrows. All right, tool shed. You can see. Oh, that's horrible.
Oh no.
When you open up the door to a tool shed, you can see heavy looted steel shelves. There's some nails and screws all over the ground, and there is a woman in stained white overalls that is kind of like pacing back and forth across the room, and she's just going, "I can't fix it. Need toolbox. No.
Hello?
She turns to you, and her image flickers. Do you have my toolbox?
Are you looking for a toolbox?
Yes. I need a toolbox. Do you have it?
I don't, but I
Why are
know.
you... She starts pacing again.
Can I describe the toolbox that I found the artifact?
I was gonna say, I wonder if it was
Ooh.
that toolbox.
When you describe it to her, her image flickers. And she looks at you and she goes, "So you found it? That was standard issue. You were supposed to return it." And her voice kind of echoes and filters when she says it. Return it.
Return it to who?
This is the tool shed. This is where the tools are supposed to go.
Are there any other toolboxes in here?
You look around and you don't see any others. You can see like a bunch of loose stuff. Everything got looted at some point. You can all see at this point that she is not physically inhabiting the space. She is something close to a hologram, and she's her movements are almost repeated, like if you broke a hologram or something, and you could only see the movements repeated over and over and over again, like a looping animation. That's kind of what's going on, and she keeps showing up this like discomfort, and any radios you have on your person are picking up this like staticky noise.
Is there anything else you need besides the toolbox?
There's a brief pause, and she goes, "You have it?"
Unfortunately, no.
You don't have, and you see at this point the filtered animation begins to loop faster and faster. At this point, and you see floating around her some of the nails that are like in the air start to like heat up and start to like zip across the room back and forth.
How fun.
I need everyone to give me body saves to avoid these nails.
Yay.
Dang, we should have grabbed the toolbox too, apparently.
Nailed it. 39
Can
out of 40.
I pass a scene?
Those of you who pass manage to duck and avoid a lot of these stinging nails that are being heated up, but those of you who fail take 5 points of damage. And you can see at this point this is technically combat, so I need everyone to roll just speed checks.
Ma'am, I was just trying to help you.
And for you listeners at home, this is a ghost in the machine.
This is an Arby's.
Nice.
This is the pizza witch from Arby's.
I succeeded in speed.
Cool. So, did anyone
20.
fail?
Nope, 20.
Ooh.
My goal was 42.
I got 11. I can pass a roll.
You did it. You critically succeeded. That's awesome.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so it looks like all of you passed to go before this ghost. So what do you want to do?
Leave.
Yeah, I'll get out of the room.
I know.
Yeah.
I don't want to hurt her.
Let's close the door.
Being that you can go before the ghost, you're able to actually run it and close the door behind you, and you just hear the toolbox, please, I need the tool, and it just like flickers back and forth.
I
That
wonder if
was
bringing a
weird.
toolbox would help her.
Well, I feel like we probably would have dropped it anyways. The thing was huge.
You make a good point. I just
And you see that floating through the wall is the woman in overalls.
No.
Yes. So all of you use your turn to run and close the door behind you, and she just floats through the wall and turns to. I'm gonna roll dice. Turns towards Basil. And Basil, I'm gonna need you to make a sanity save with disadvantage. As you know, this is gonna be a very specific cut. You know that scene in Dark Souls where his like hallucination wife climbs on the table and her eyes start to flicker, just like bright colors into his eyes? That's what this ghost lady is doing to you, Basil.
So I rolled a 3
fun.
and a 69. So I guess 69 is what counts, and I fail.
Nice.
So you immediately receive hundreds of memories that are not your own. You remember basically going to a program to get your Teamster like certification. You remember getting all this training from Nostrodamus Corp to work maintenance in Cloud Bank. You remember the first time you took your shuttle to Cloud Bank and getting set up. You remember having a birthday. You remember having friends. And then you remember getting stuck and pinned under some rubble. And you remember not breathing anymore. And you remember getting up and the tool shed being empty, but you don't have your toolbox. And you need to find your toolbox. So you permanently lose. That's gonna be 3 sanity. So reduce your sanity total by 3. And you also gain 1 stress.
Oh no.
I don't like that. Okay.
Okay.
So that
Alrighty
was
then.
its move. What do you all want to do? Or actually,
Oh, gosh.
roll me speed checks.
While we're doing this, what
Failed.
is in the room we're in right now? Like, what is around us?
You're just in a hallway that leads to a bunch of other rooms.
Mm.
You can see that
Failed.
there's a tunnel, like a door that leads to the tunnel you came in from, a door to a diagnostic lab, a door to a break room, and a door to a meeting room, and a door to a landing area.
A diagnostic lab.
All right, successful speed checks. Who's going?
I failed my speed check.
I failed mine.
I passed mine.
I failed.
All right, Basil,
So-
you just got some memories that weren't yours beamed directly into your eyeballs. How you doing?
Probably not very good. But yeah, I'm gonna try and continue on and just shake it off.
Okay. So yeah, you use one of your actions to move away. What else are you doing? You get one more action.
Does it look like the woman is like following us, or?
It looks like when you mentioned that you couldn't find it, she got upset and started to, because I think one of you mentioned that you'd seen it around, but you didn't bring it back. She got upset and she's following you. But you can try to talk to her if you want.
So I think, yeah, I'm gonna use the memories that I just saw, and I want to sort of engage with her about it, and then I want to tell her the room that I found the toolbox in, and say, oh, it's in the disassembly room.
Ooh, okay. Go ahead and roll me. I know how to do these stats in this game. Yeah, I guess this is going to be an intellect check.
Okay. Ooh, I just passed 35.
All right, so yeah, you relay this news, and using kind of information that you got from her brain, she starts to flicker, and the animation starts to loop again, and she disappears into a bunch of pixels. Apparently, going to go find the toolbox.
Nice.
Okay, now combat's over.
Ah.
Y'all thought you were cute, just like opening the door and going, nope.
Good job, Basil.
Yeah, that
really-
was nicely done.
Really thought the door was gonna do it, and I forgot.
Well,
Yeah.
unfortunately, I now have memories that I wish I did not have, but we continue.
What?
I just kind of like look at Chaitan and I'm like, never mind.
Fair enough.
Okay.
All right. So,
Atlas
You
doesn't
are-
cry.
yeah, you're in the center of the maintenance area. From here, you can go to a lot of places. You can try to get to the skeleton works. the pseudo-flesh farms. It's unclear how you get to quality assurance based on the current map you have, but you imagine there's a secret way in. And then you can take the landing access to get to the floor 2, which is called the exhibition and showroom. But you remember on maps that were on the terminal, it was called Eden. So that is a discrepancy you notice. You can also try to get to the brain construction room, although that area appears to be sealed off on its own as well. Except you do see like a little bit faded on the map, but it appears to be a room that maybe you could get into through the vents that you crawled past.
Yeah.
Is everyone feeling? I feel like whatever AI is going to take over is going to have their own plans for this situation, and it might be better to get the main job done.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
We've located one artifact already.
I think we should move forward and keep
No,
looking for
that'll be good enough for
artifacts.
PR. We come back with one artifact they can spin it.
Do we know how many artifacts there are?
Not counting it's unclear how many there are on site because they did a lot of different studies and tests here. But you all have your own kind of missions to go along with it. And you can technically answer the question as to what's going on with what's going on with Monarch right now, since you kind of set some events in motion.
Oh, do it. So do we need to go to 3.4? I mean, we kind of know.
I mean,
Yeah.
Brain construction.
Extremely costly intelligence has indicated that somewhere on the floor 3.4 are servers with information that is earmarked for corporate acquisition.
are you reading your secret mission out loud for everyone?
No, that's not the secret mission. That's the
Okay.
primary mission.
I was like, bold move. Let's see if it pays off. Oh yeah, but the primary mission is to get a hold of that. So
Okay.
before that,
Okay.
you unfortunately unable to leave.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you might have to go back into those tunnels.
All right, we got to go get the different higher ups internet search history. We gotta get to
Yeah.
3.4.
All right.
So
I
we
mean, let's
wanna-
head that way so we can get out of here. I don't think it's going to bode well.
Yeah, maybe double check break room, see if there's anything in there.
Yeah, grab
Just the
frag grenade
just the
coffee.
just the grenade.
Oh, it's grenade coffee.
It'll wake
There
you
was
up.
no other like storage things in there, places
Delicious.
where stuff could have been hidden, or
If it's something hidden, I'll tell you on that second check. If not, I let you know of everything that's in that room.
gotcha.
All right. So where are y'all going?
Yeah, I'll grab the frag grenade coffee,
What's this say? Get the frag grenade for sure.
just in case we need to do something real dumb.
Okay.
And-
Delicious.
Fiona's probably just gonna poke around like drawers and anything that's in there, but
Yeah.
She may
Give me
not
roll me a D100.
alright, where's my mouse? There we go. Whatever my computer said it wants to load. 37?
37. Huh. Interesting. So you pull out a bunch of small microcassettes. You can play them in any of the terminals. Yeah, it's just a bunch of cassettes. They all appear to be labeled 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5.
Hey, this could be useful.
Mm.
Get information on stuff.
That's true. People could have recorded something that happened here.
Yeah.
Might be important to take a look at them.
Yeah.
Do we want to take a look at it before we go into the vents, or do we want to go into the vents and then take a look at them later?
Yeah, there's a terminal nearby that if you
Let's
want to
say,
use
is
it.
there? Yeah. Why don't
let's
we?
plug these in.
Sure.
As
you
long
plug
as we're
in,
quick about it.
Sure. You plug in one, and immediately it kind of like flickers on. The terminal starts like asking if you would like to play video.
Immediately, a breathy voice kind of echoes through the audio frequency, and then you see the footage. It's kind of grainy, almost like a VHS tape, and it's just eye-level footage of some of the rooms you've been in, and just And that's the first one. And by rooms you've been in, I mean the first floor.
Okay.
Are there any differences, or does it look just like what we saw?
It looks like the rooms as you went through them. Like, nothing has changed. And if I said they were labeled 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I also meant to add that there is a 6 and... Yeah, there's a 6.
Well, that was not very informative. I'm gonna
Well, no,
see what
it
two
tells
has
us
on it.
that something was going around recording things after all this went to hell. So, something.
True.
And it sounded winded.
Yeah.
Should we
Do you check any of the other ones?
should we take a
Yeah.
look at the next one?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Fiona kind of puts in 2.
2 appears to have an error and displays like no video found.
Interesting.
Can I try and look at it and see if I
What
can
does it say?
toggle with it at all?
Yeah, it's an empty cassette. There's nothing in it.
Oh, there's no reel.
Okay.
Does anyone want to check to see if maybe the real guy left somewhere while we check to see what's on 3?
I will let you know.
Oh.
So you said 3?
Yeah.
This one's a little bit more interesting. It's the rooms that you were just in. It's the big hallway that you ran out of, like the big industrial hallway that you ran out of, with these swarms of androids kind of swarming around you. It is the room with all the air ducts that you crawled into. It's the room covered in condensation. It's the tunnel with scrawled words everywhere. And it starts to move a little bit faster and just goes, and then it turns and comes out of the tunnel and then opens up into the hallway that you were just outside of. And it starts to move faster and it immediately turns and moves towards the door to the break room where you're inside of, and then you hear a slam as the door opens behind you.
Holy shit, not again!
I need a fear save from everybody.
Atlas immediately whips around.
Fiona screams like a little girl.
Yeah, I fail.
Oh, Fiona absolutely jumps and screams like a little girl. I was 1 point away from a crit fail.
Oh, excellent.
Oh boy.
Why
So,
does this play so many tricks on the
those of
mind?
you who failed, go ahead and give me 1 extra stress. And as you all flip around, you see that there is... It's what would charitably be described as a torso. And you can see sticking out of it in spindly kind of like legs are what are essentially kind of like almost like tendrils or tubes. And they're kind of moving it along and it's pushing it forward. You can see that some of the actual tendrils have like wheels on them, but it's not meant to ambulate in a way that is effective. And the torso itself is just it's a split screen of a bunch of different like audio feeds and video feeds. And each of the video feeds right now is showing a fisheye lens, very zoomed in picture of each of you. And I need you all to make me a panic check.
Oh.
So it's adding.
We will pull up the panic
I
mechanics.
was gonna say, yeah.
Add
And
the
we will,
details.
and everyone will get to remember the fun, spooky mechanic that we're doing. So, as this creepy thing bursts through the wall or through the door, first you got to make a stress check. So roll 2d10, and if you
we
roll
under?
over, if you roll over your current stress, you don't panic, and you relieve 1 stress.
Okay.
If you roll under your current stress, you panic, and you
So
move to step 2.
I panic.
All right, we got Chayton panicking. What else do we got panicking?
And it's
I'm good.
Good.
you add like 2d10. You add the 2 together.
Yep, you add the 2 together. So if you get like a 6 and a 7, you add the 6 and 7 together.
I critically succeed because I rolled
Ooh,
2 times.
excellent.
Fiona's panicking.
Oh no!
So, those of you who rolled panic, go ahead and roll me a 2d10 and add your current stress, and I will let you know what happens.
Fuck. 24.
24. And I believe there's an extra thing that happens when a Marine panics.
Yes, I believe so.
Go ahead and let me know what that is. And it was 24 and 20?
Yeah.
Chayton was
Okay.
24.
So we
I'm
will.
And
Yeah,
So
Fiona's
we're
20.
about
Fiona's
to,
20.
we're about to wrap up. So this will be the perfect place to wrap up.
I think when a Marine panics, isn't it that all Marines panic?
Yes. What a delightful time to be alone. Yeah. So
Aw.
you don't make any other Marines panic. Thankfully, you don't get your classic game over man moment because you go completely catatonic. Like you see this thing and it's got these video screens of you zoomed in, fisheye lens on your face, and you just stop moving, and your hands fall to your side. And roll me a how much stress do you have?
11.
Roll me 11 d10.
I'm just gonna do that on.
Yeah, you might want to do that on math, on some sort of math website that does math.
As a teamster, I can actually re-roll one's perception
yes.
on the panic table.
If you would like to see if you can roll lower, that might be a good call.
So you want the total?
Yeah. So that's going to be
46.
Okay. So for the next 46 minutes, you're going to be unresponsive and unmoving.
Rad.
Cool.
And go ahead and roll me again, Fiona, and see if we got something different going on.
Rolling higher on the stress table is bad, right? On the panic table.
Rolling
Cool.
higher is
I'm not
worse.
going to take what I just rolled.
Okay. I don't remember if the mechanic is you have to take what you just rolled, but I'll be nice to you because you just have to watch you basil combo platter turn into a nightmare AI. So you're just rattled, and by rattled, I mean you let out a blood-curdling scream, and you have disadvantage on all your rolls for the next 11 minutes.
Okay.
So this creature is in the
Like I
doorway.
said, she screams like a little girl.
Yeah, this set of TVs on tendrils is in the doorway, and you can see currently it's like it's not floating, but it's like kind of balancing itself in the doorway. Chayton just stops moving, like fully drops the rifle and just stares at this thing. Meanwhile, Fiona just lets out a blood-curdling scream. And
Atlas.
yeah, what are you doing, Atlas?
Atlas picks up the rifle and gets in front of Chayton and Fiona, and is like,
Alright.
"Snap out of it!" And
Alright.
aims
Fiona
at
is
the thing
hiding
coming through
behind
the
Chayton.
door.
All right.
Fiona
So-
is hiding.
Atlas, you pick up the rifle. What are you doing, Basil?
I think that I am also going to pick up my revolver.
All right. So you take out a revolver. Meanwhile, Atlas runs down, picks up the rifle, starts shaking it in Chayton's face. Fiona has run behind Chayton, who's just standing stock, still staring at this thing. And we end on this tableau as a cheerful little message tone starts to beep.
Once it loads.
Yeah. Doom, doom, doom.
Of all the times for things to slow down.
Something's working.
Interlopers, I will aid you with this abomination if you agree to listen to my terms. And that's where we're gonna end.
No.
Cool.
What?
What are the terms?
Catatonic 46 minutes? Damn.
Yeah. To give you a time estimate, because you've gone through some pretty big areas, you've been there for around 8 hours.
Okay. So we're
Yeah,
probably
you're
pretty
starting,
wiped.
you're starting to get to the point where you're like hungry and tired.
Also, Fiona's very stressed out.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Do we not have any food, like rations?
You brought like food, and
I
there's
have
also you can raid some of
MREs.
you can raid some of the break rooms and stuff for food if you need it.
Yeah. There's like a fridge or freezer that's anything actually worthwhile in it.
All right.
You just
Nutrition,
need stim packs.
next
It's all
session.
the food you need.
Yeah. Everyone remember to eat. It's important to eat food, even if you're in robot hell.
Mm-hmm.
All right. How are we feeling, everybody?
That was good.
It was
I
good.
personally am having a blast. Fiona's
I'm having a
not
great
okay.
Yeah.
I would once again like to hype up whatever eldritch deity carved Shannon's dice. I would like their number. Because I never roll that well.
It's the gummy dice.
Me
man.
either.
They look like gummy.
Love the
shards.
gummy dice.
I saw those earlier. I knew something about them drew me, and I should have
See?
bought them.
I love that Basil is just like experimenting on the team. It's so good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's great though. It's great.
Pretty
Meanwhile,
much,
poor
yeah.
Cheyenne. I was like, that's why I checked in before you went through the event, because I'm like, I already know you're going through it, and then just for you to end up catatonic.
I know, right? I'm like, that'll be fine. I got stim packs. Should be all right.
Yeah.
Just boom.
So everyone, welcome TV Torso. Mostly because I really like the like shaky fisheye lens on somebody's eyeball image. I think that's very fun, very
It's fun.
evocative.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Also,
had
we
a
lost the
blast.
doctor, so that's good.
Yeah.
I know.
So
yeah,
we'll have a little tiny scene with Xander and what the doctor's been up to.
sounds fun.
It'll be fun for me, hopefully for
Yeah.
Xander too.
I love little off-screen scenes like that. They're just so much fun.
So
All
good.
right. So, welcome everybody to Nostrodamus Corp Gradient Descent. Things are ramping up. There is a new AI called Phaser that lets me use my fun radio demon voice mod, which is not something I ever thought I would use, but sure is neat. So in any case, with that being the kind of structure now, there's 2 competing AIs for the future of the Cloud Bank facility, plus a mysterious Silas, which controls the pseudo-flesh farms. Maybe that's something that'll come up. Maybe we'll never get answers to that mystery. Who knows? Either way,
Depends on what hallway we wander into.
yeah, either way, I'm very excited. It was cool to kind of like put the whole map together, and have everybody kind of come together and be like, yeah, it's time for stuff to get popping off. And Monarch is apparently a lot more willing to negotiate than previous.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a good thing, right?
Because now
Probably.
Monarch needs
It's a good
allies.
Yeah, Monarch is like, hey, that's messed up, but let me cut you a deal.
Well, we are, the virus. We entered
Yeah.
the system and we ruined it. So
I waited so long for any kind of RPG thing to end with a player going, but we are the virus. Here we are.
Yeah.
Yes.
We should teach phaser magic. That would never go wrong.
Yeah,
No,
that'll be
of course
fun.
not.
Yeah.
It'd be so much fun.
Yeah, so that's all I got for you all today. I have been your warden here at Nostrodamus Corp Gradient Descent. Everyone say hello to your newest AI buddy, Phaser, and your previously upset AI buddy, Monarch. Very cool how you all handled the rogue AI. I had really no idea what you were all going to decide to do. I thought you were going to like book it. I thought you might throw it in the thing, but y'all went nuts. It was very cool.
Yeah.
we chose the bad option. Plug it in. See
Yeah.
what
Plug it
happens.
in.
I gave you the ability to plug it in, right? It's not like
Well,
I'm
the
sitting
thing is-
here like,
Also, we had a bit of time where we could have tried to yeet the AI in the robot into the furnace.
This
Yeah.
is true.
It didn't immediately try and kill us, and they were like, oh, well, okay,
Did you?
it's a thing now. It's
Still
probably fine.
very cool. Very proud of everybody. Excited for your first artifact, the egg.
The egg.
Yeah,
Good
the
times.
Tomy like structure.
Yeah, the thing that it's just like it sends good vibes, you know. I repeat, there is nothing malicious about the egg, and if there is, that would be a whole nother adventure.
There's a
but
lot of
just to
emphasis
clarify,
on that.
There isn't nothing malicious about the egg. Just making sure.
You
so
are protesting a lot.
Yeah, I've been your warden. I play Weary in Rise of Nyarlathotep. I expect bad things to happen to Weary on a constant basis, so it's very fun to be able to let my energy out here. I'm going to recommend. Is it bad if I recommend Audio Morse podcast again?
I was gonna recommend that.
Oh no! Okay, so I'll have to recommend something different. I'm gonna recommend Xander's show, which is the Heartbeats cast.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna recommend Xander's show. I haven't listened to it, but it's on my queue, and I'm gonna listen to it tomorrow morning on the way to work. So I'll see.
Fun.
Delightful low-key horror.
Oh, that's cool. I
Just-
dig that.
So low-key. Everyone's just super chill about all the horror tropes.
If you like good slice of life stuff, then you'll really like Heartbeats.
No.
Nice. Nice.
Considering I described something as a mountain of screams and agony today, I could use some low-key horror as opposed to some mountains of screams and agony horror.
Static that sounds like agony.
Yeah, static that sounds like pain. But yeah, that's
if
my
static
recommendation.
were made of human misery.
Yeah,
That's what
Is
it
your
was.
phrase.
yeah. Tell Xander that you said hi and that you love the show. I hope you love the show. I'm excited to listen to it.
You'll love it.
That is my recommendation. If anybody wants to jump in with their handles, I'm on Twitter at Ian_Caliente. If anybody wants to jump in with their stuff, feel free.
Yeah. So I run the Rise of Nyarlathotep campaign as well as Ballad of the Seven Dice. We have a podcast. So Rise of Nyarlathotep, that's tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. CST. Come show up and see what I do to Weary. Because I got put in a long ass sleep. No, it'll be fine. I don't have to do anything. Everyone's already making deals and it's great. So yeah, we're gonna be diving into some good stuff with some Warped Fae. Also, our podcast Battle of the Seven Dice is about a group of people who have been ripped from different worlds, and they're all brought to the Forgotten Realms, and they are forced to fight in this Eldritch War, where I destroy everything those precious, precious neckbeards held dear, and I'm ruining it all. There's some people that I've had a lot of messages. Honestly, if you like Forgotten Realms, that's fine. I'm just having fun. But I've had people message going, I noticed that you're doing this thing. I don't really think that's actually how it goes. I'm like, it is now, though. And I've also killed that character. So, good times.
My table, my rules.
Yeah, hop on over to Battle of the Seven Dice. Great fun if you love good horror. But my recommendation is what Ian was going to recommend, Audiomorphs. I love Animorphs. The whole Yerk thing in the ear, so good. All the different alien species, I forgot all about the taxon. Good times.
Yeah, I remember the slicey arm dinosaurs. I didn't remember the centipedes with heat rays.
Yeah, I did, with lobster claws as well. What the hell?
Yeah.
But great times. I have listened to 7 of the books in 2 weeks, so I can't stop.
Wow.
Won't stop. Check it out. It's a ton of fun.
The fun
Beautiful.
fact about that series is that author's also written some very heartwarming children's books. Like
Yeah,
the one and
they
only
did, like-
Ivan. I'm just
they
like,
did,
that
like,
was a weird
Babysitter's
phase
Club.
you went through.
They did like
Nice.
Babysitter's Club and stuff.
I
And
just
then-
appreciate how Animorphs is like, they'll straight up just be like, we've been through so much trauma, and every time I look over at my friend and they start morphing, I freak out and scream and I have nightmares for 3 weeks. I'm like, yeah.
It's bad.
I would too.
That
yeah.
is valid. Absolutely.
Watch every time you look at a druid, sanity save.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Oh my goodness. Well, this has been great fun. Atlas's friends, new friends and old friends, are not having a great time. But my recommendation this week is called The Valder's Guide to Unusual Familiars. It's over on Kickstarter right now. I believe that they did just hit their goal. It is written from the perspective of Valdar Bristleblade, who is like a falconer, and it's a supplement for 20 unusual familiars. You got some really cool ones in there, some animated objects, animal hybrids. Some have many eyes, some have no eyes. So go check it out and consider supporting them. It is an agnostic setting guide, so it can be used and supplemented in pretty much any game. It's not particularly set for just one module. It's very cute.
Nice.
Okay, thank you everyone for watching. Thank you, Ian, for setting all this up for us and running the game. It's super fun, and I'm very happy to be a part of it. I did not think of a recommendation in advance, but I'm gonna say the Get Back documentary was really good. I watched the first episode last night. And if you're interested in just watching the Beatles write music for like 7 hours, it's interesting. But that's it. Thank you, everybody.
This has been an absolute blast. I'm tempted to just shameless self-promo my own shows because I'm very proud of them.
Absolutely.
But whenever you're not listening to Board the Opal Star or Tempest Multi, which still have had far too much fun with that one. You should check out, there's a new show I've been listening to called Warlock. It's a mixture of D&D and anime in an audio drama about the first Warlock, and it's so well done.
Nice.
That sounds very cool.
Yeah, they've got like 3 episodes left, and it's so good.
Nice.
Oh, it actually has an ending, so it's not like another Eternal podcast.
Well, they had 3 episodes out so far. They just launched like a month ago.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Very
I'll check
nice.
that out. Sounds really cool.
Yeah.
All right. Very good.
In that case, here's the official sign out.
I would like to wish all of you an excellent evening, interlopers, and we will see you effecting change in my little corner of the sea in 2 weeks.
It'll be great.
Apologies for messing with your system.
It's fine. They'll just kill my internet whenever I like misbehave. It happens. Am I manifesting Monarch? No, I would never.
I'm kind of still proud no one's died yet.
All right. Bye now, everyone.
Bye.
That one. Goodbye.